Hi, I'm good. How are you? Let's play mewgenics. So listen, I've got a little bit of a bone to pick with adults at the grocery store. And this isn't, look, I'll be honest. I know I'm not breaking any new ground here, like we've been here before. Other people have been here before, right? Complaining about people at the grocery store. But here's the thing. It's kind of the contract between someone who makes a video and someone who watches a video. I get to talk about whatever I want because that increases the odds that I'll just be able to yap endlessly without ever shutting up. And in exchange, since I'm constantly filling the air with the noise of my own voice, you get to not have alone time with your thoughts. I think that is sort of the exchange that we're making here. Let's see. So what's my beef with people at the grocery store? This is specifically, I have a problem with adults at the grocery store, okay? And this is the situation where I have problems with them. How are so many adults at the grocery store looking lost? Like they've never been there before. See, and this is why I'm saying adults, because like, you know, let's say you're a bit of a young buck wandering through the grocery store for the first time ever. You and the lads, you know them, you've seen them. They're walking around the grocery store. They look kind of lost. They already have like, ooh. They've already got like the sodas and the snacks and stuff like that. They got that on lock, right? They're like, hey, maybe this instead. Hey, you know, even when I wasn't responsible for doing the groceries myself, like we knew where the snack aisle was. We knew where to go get some soda and stuff, right? But now they're entering this whole new world where they have to go figure out some more stuff rather than just like what flavor of potato chips they want. Life has suddenly gotten a lot more complicated for them. Suddenly there's like this whole new aisle and it's just filled with a bunch of different white powders that are apparently like all the foundation of all food on earth. So I can forgive them, you know? They're lost, they're discombobulated, and it makes sense. Oh my God, a bald eagle. I want whatever gun you have to offer. They're still figuring it out, and that's fine with me. I was there, you know. It's nothing new. We've all been there. We've all had to do it before. We've all had to learn how to navigate the grocery store. My problem is when some people seem to manage to make it all the way into like their mid-30s, their mid-40s, and they're still like figuring out how, like where the hell is the milk and what kind of butter do I want? What are we doing? How many haven't you bought this before? How many times have you bought this before? Why are you here pretending like it's the first time? How? I would like to know if you know someone who is this way or you yourself are this way. You're still an adult. You're an adult who looks lost in the grocery store. I'd like to hear firsthand from you basically what the fuck. Do I get greedy? Let's get greedy. Like butterfly knife? Oh yeah. And then not destroy the corpse so it didn't really matter anyway. What does this do again? Yeah. Genius. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you experience these people? I feel maybe it's worse on the weekend. That's when I went in. Went in on a Sunday and it was just, I guess it wasn't like total chaos or anything, but it was kind of like, wow. It was kind of a pain. It reminds me of people who are checking in at like a hotel. And they go up to the desk, they're talking, you know, with the receptionist and they're talking. You can't help but think to yourself a little bit, like, what on earth are they like even talking about? Like, how long does this conversation have to be? But you know, whatever, it is what it is. I'm not the only human being on earth. I can wait a few seconds for someone else to take care of whatever they need to take care of, whatever. They get done. I go up there. I'm like, I'd like to check in. They're like, okay, what's your name? I give them my name. And they're like, here's your key. Goodbye. What do you mean? What did they get that I didn't get? Obviously, I'm missing out on something here. something apparently significant that took like a very long time to manage. What am I missing out on? All right, attack, spin, dead, done. It's especially, you know, you can kind of tell when an adult looks lost at the grocery store as well, and it seems like maybe they're doing something brand new for like the very, like, you know, I got lost looking for some creme fraiche at the local grocery store that I think didn't even actually like exist. So of course I was lost and like unable to find it. I looked it up later online. I should have just probably looked it up online at the store, but I'm like, I don't want to be the guy who's just like standing around. Oh my gosh, I got mom's knife already? That took like 200 hours in my other file. I don't want to be the guy like standing around in the aisles on their phone and stuff like that. Like I just, you know, let's in and out. Let's get this done. If we can't figure something out, this time we'll figure it out next time, right? Couldn't figure out the creme fraiche. I was like, okay, I admit defeat. Creme fraiche, it's defeated me. I'll move on with my life. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Look it up later online. It just wasn't real at all. Like it was a failed mission from the start. I just had no way of even knowing that was the case. Probably should have just used my normal attack. But when you're wandering around in the aisle that's like milk and cheese and butter and yogurt, how are you lost? How are you lost? Has it been a long time since you've like been here? How often do you go to the grocery store? Is it like this for you every single time you go to the grocery store? Is it a memory issue? Am I just like making fun of people with disabilities right now? Are there that many people going to the grocery store with memory issues, I guess, would be the question I need answered. Why did I move my mage so far up? Let's take care of that. Maybe. Yeah. But yeah. This might be for people at the grocery store. Let me know. Let me know if you got answers. Let me know if you got answers, because I'm asking for them. Let's see. End turn. Blow everything up. I can't quite get the last one. So speaking of grocery store sort of related events, sort of, kind of, not really, I have crossed a major threshold in my life now. What is that major threshold? The major threshold is that I had baked a little pizza in the oven today for lunch and didn't burn the roof of my mouth. Let's see, let's take a look at these spells. I've never used Chain Lightning. Yeah, maybe I should try it. I made pizza and I didn't eat it so quickly that I burned the roof of my mouth trying to do it. Now, it's not, I think it's fair to say that that's not exactly a major accomplishment, especially in that the injury invoked by burning the roof of your mouth really isn't that much of like an injury, right? This is pretty, it's fine. It doesn't feel that bad. But the real injury of it is that every time that you do it, you then have to be face to face with yourself in the fact that you told yourself you weren't going to do it again. You told yourself, okay, I messed up, burned the roof of my mouth again. Next time though, next time I'm gonna slow down and it's gonna be all right. That's the true injury, is telling yourself that you were going to change and failing. But now here we are at a point in my life where change has come. All right, and turn, chain dash. I don't really, does anyone truly like know how the chain dash works? Especially there's one enemy later on in the game that has kind of a chain dash thing going on in like Act 3 of the game. I'm still, that's all like pure vibes based, and I just sort of basically just close my eyes and hope that everything will be okay, because I don't understand precisely how to like work around Okay, so that does zap onto allies. I don't precisely know how to work around it. And you know what? Honestly, it might feel a little frustrating, but at times, not really knowing precisely how to work around something. But I gotta admit, it really hasn't like really ruined any of my runs or anything, I don't think. Chain dash, teleport, stab, out of here. I'm glad it wasn't Fenrir. I feel like as far as early game bosses go, Fenrir is a real pain in the ass. Largely because we don't yet... Wait a minute. Oh, and then you fall asleep. Okay. Oh, what do we want here? I do like Crusade. That's good movement related stuff. But Born Again is just like... When an enemy takes damage from an ally, it drops a random pickup. That's pretty good. Who do I have on the team again? A thief, a mage, a fighter, and a cleric. I feel like the thief and the mage are like, let's just not. Let's stay home instead of going on a crusade. We can have like off-brand crusade at home. Let's do Born Again. Pissed, hey. You can do hard mode now. Yeah, and I think we probably will. Run seems to be going fine so far. But as I was saying, one boss that can sometimes be a major pain in the ass in the early game is Fenrir. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we can't precisely control our pathing ever, or at least yet. And nice, let's just move out of the way. And I'm of a couple minds about that. I do think it'd be more of a pain in the ass for sure. I jinxed myself, I'm an idiot. It would be more of a pain in the ass for sure if you like always had to control all of your pathing and stuff, like for sure. But it's definitely a pain in the ass when so many problems would be solved if you were simply allowed to path the way that you desire. I think I don't steamroller anything because I want Born Again. It doesn't like cure one of their injuries though. Whatever, is what it is. But I'm starting. This is my tinfoil hat level conspiracy with controlling our own movement. I think sometimes controlling our own movement would require some rebalancing of certain abilities, and maybe it just doesn't seem worth it or at least doesn't seem worth it for now from a like cost, development time sort of perspective, because if you're not familiar with the Druid class, this don't worry about it, but basically they have an ability that lets them trample around all over the map. And I mean, it's Form of the Elk, and it's an incredible ability. It's pretty much the only time I've really enjoyed playing Druid is when they happen to have Form of the Elk on. Give me some of your mana, sleeping dork. They have Form of the Elk on, and then they just run around and trample over top of everything, and it's a really great time. And even without the ability to very precisely control your own pathing, it's still like ridiculously powerful. So my tinfoil hat conspiracy is there's that ability, and then there might be at least a few others kind of like it that are already really powerful, even when you can't very precisely control your own movement pathing. And maybe it's just like, we don't want to deal with rebalancing that stuff right now in order to allow you to more precisely control your pathing. And like I said, like maybe like 95% of the time, it doesn't really matter. Like whenever you have trample, it starts to matter. And whenever you're fighting Fenrir, it starts to matter. And that's really kind of it. And even when it does start to matter, just because you have trample and thorns, it still does like a pretty decent job most of the time, but it's frustrating that it's not perfect, but whatever. Why did I think this spell was way more expensive? I'm probably thinking of one that does it for the rest of the battle. What do I got? +1 damage for each coin you collect. Yeah, okay. I'll go get coins. Watch me. I already want coins. You don't have to incentivize me to pursue a good time. What is magic damage and charge in return for not casting spells? Poof. Foof, woof, woof. They all like casting spells, man. You have the reroll. Do I want you to have the reroll? Do I want you to have the luck? Probably not. Here, just do something like this and let's move on with our lives. Examine the large mushroom. I'd prefer to eat it, but... Dry bone mask. What that do again? Shield and thorns and inflict bruise on people who be smacking me. This probably does like, oh, I'm a fool. Chain lightning and peace symbol face paint. This is the way. So I had, my girlfriend shared an interesting video with me the other day. And so it sort of ramps up in its ridiculousness very steadily, which is, I think, a big part of what was very enjoyable about the video. But here's the premise, right? The premise is this lady got impregnated by an inmate, active inmate, like not an ex-inmate, like actively still in prison. She went and visited him and had a very good time together and is now pregnant. And she was talking about it on TikTok, sharing her story, because like everyone has to share their story on TikTok now, right? I mean, why not take a shot, right? But so here's the thing. That part, like if you sort of stopped the story there, it's not that much of a story, right? Like if you've ever watched much Love After Lockup or like junk TV like that, you know this isn't exactly like groundbreaking news or anything like that. Where it starts to get where it really starts to make me chuckle is that she is very like preemptively, as she's telling the story, she's very preemptively like, I don't need anyone to tell me I'm stupid, okay? Like, I know that I'm stupid and that this was a mistake. And like, let's face it, we've all made a mistake like this. That is where this whole thing starts to become very entertaining in my mind, is she starts to become very insistent. She insists like multiple times. It's not just once, it's multiple times throughout the duration of this story that she's telling, that she insists that we have all made mistakes like this. No, we haven't. Like maybe in the circles you run in, everyone has made mistakes like that. I have not personally met even a single person who has made that particular mistake. And then it just keeps, it continues to totally devolve into utter chaos as well. Because not only does she get impregnated by this inmate, she learns later she thought he had like, I don't know, a little bit of time left in the clink. He's got like 15 years left. So like little buddy is going to be like most of the way through school by the time there's even like the potential of saying like, hello, dad, outside of, you know, visiting hours. She learns that. And like, obviously, as if that wasn't devastating enough, there's even more for her to learn. As it turns out as well that this dude has impregnated some other ladies, got some other kids going on. The guy must be like virile, and there's something to this here that's like proving, you know, it's been proven. It's not a surprise to anyone, but we're just sort of we're solidifying the fact once again that, is this bomb going to make the bomb blow up? But then, like, it doesn't really matter because the bomb's going to blow up. Can I? Okay. It is sort of yet another proving example that there's no real justice in the world. because how many like well-meaning, kind, I'm not calling them unkind or whatever just because he's serving 15 years in prison, maybe there's always the possibility that he's serving 15 years in prison because he did something really good. But how many well-to-do, well-meaning couples have like struggled to get pregnant? And this dude has this lady over for visiting hours a single time, just bangs one out. She's pregnant with twins as well. I forgot that part of the escalation of the story. She is not just pregnant with a baby, she's pregnant with twins. So the pair of them will be most of the way done with high school by the time they can say hello to their father outside of visiting hours. Let's take zip, and I need more water. Oh boy, we can go to the junkyard now, which I probably will do. I think I've done, have I beaten the caves with anyone? Oh, I don't know, actually. I don't even know if I've done the caves. I think I've done the caves. Whatever, I'm going to the junkyard. So there this lady is pregnant with twins to an inmate who's still going to be in jail for 15 years. And he is also a prolific baby daddy. And still she is insisting that we have all made this type of mistake before. I don't know who the hell we is, but it's not me. I know that. No, we have not. Buddy. This is going to probably be some sort of prolific mistake. Can we just move again? No? All right. That was my escape plan. Escape plan number 2. Mage kills just everyone. Oh my god, I'm bad at the game. Don't worry about it. But I think that's what truly sends me about the story, though, is her unending insistence that we've come on, we've all been there before, Like she's talking about accidentally having like a little too much to drink one night or something. Crazy work. But who knows? Maybe in her circle, truly, they all have made mistakes along those lines. Was this 5 mana? Probably from the cleric, and then spin, and then get me out of here. End the turn. Don't kill my thief, por favor. Thank you. Thank you. Was not expecting that, honestly. I did sort of expect that they would die. What is... Oh, there it is. Very used to Xbox controller controls. Let's see, what... Can we just not really do much of anything? This is... there we go, that's something. All right. So another story, or video, I guess, that my girlfriend shared with me. I think the channel is called 2 Hot Takes, something like that. But basically, they find controversial stories on Reddit. The host does, and then shares them with their guests, and they talk about it. It's a good. If you ever have known someone for like a long time, especially like maybe a significant other, and you struggle sometimes to have stuff to talk about because like there just isn't that much to talk about, right? I love Merciless, but does he like suck too much? Oh, he might suck too much. Hamster? What's my intelligence? 4? Ugh. Are there better? Maybe I need to reroll. Because I'm not that sold on hamster style, especially like Tumble gets me where I need to go. Ooh, I kind of like Underdog. Yeah. you run out of stuff to talk about with your significant other sometimes, because like you're around each other constantly. It's just how many more updates could you possibly have for each other at a certain point, right? So it can be kind of nice to have those videos show up every now and then. It gives you something, it's a little bit of a conversation starter. But the subject of the video was a little bit of office drama. So here's the situation. I'm curious where other people sort of land on this, right? So the situation for me is I probably shouldn't put my thief in the middle of like all of this junk. The situation is a person works at a office, and the chairs at the office suck a lot. Been there, done that, right? And they decide I'm going to bring in my own personal chair into the office. And I'm going to sit in that because these chairs suck. I got back problems, and I don't want to sit in these shitty chairs all day, which extremely valid. Especially, it was a desk job, so you're sitting in there. Maybe I should just shoot them. Yeah, I'll shoot this one. You spend a lot of time sitting in that chair, right? So they bring it in. They get to work like the very next day, and someone's sitting in their chair. It is what it is. This is what, and like, to be clear, we haven't, there's not a problem yet, in my opinion, right? There's not necessarily a problem yet. Who knows what the seating situation is like? Who knows what the seating expectations are? This person might just think the chair is like a chair provided by the company, and chair provided by the company, and like a first come first serve type situation for all they know, stuff like that. So we don't have a problem yet, to be clear, but the problems start very quickly. The guy goes to the person who has taken his chair and says, excuse me, that's my chair. I would like it back, please. And basically, the guy who took the chair says, go get effed, buddy. Okay, we're starting to have a little bit of a problem. But you know what? There's no need to go nuclear with it yet, right? Like there are rude people in the world, and there are ways to deal with this situation. So that's what the person who made the story was thinking as well. So they figure, what's a reasonable solution from here? I'm just going to have to go to someone who has more authority than me and talk to this guy and explain the situation and get my chair back, right? Like, it is what it is. So he goes to the boss, and the boss basically says, get fucked, buddy. Now we've got like some serious issues, right? Because injustice has been dealt, though in the grand scheme of things, it is a relatively minor injustice and all that, and yet that chair is his personal property, and injustice has in fact been dealt and is not being rectified. Neither is it being rectified through the individuals who would be capable of rectifying such a thing. We've dealt with the individual themselves, and we've dealt with the person of higher authority who had a chance at being able to handle the situation, right? What was that mutation? Very nice. And it's gone nowhere, right? Now, things escalate very quickly, and I think a lot of people would consider this an over-escalation, but my girlfriend and I were actually on the same page here that this was not an over-escalation. But just listen, because if someone considered this to be an over-escalation, I would not consider them crazy whatsoever. But here's what happened. Guy says, basically, like, fuck this, I'm not going to just be pushed around. That chair, I left out this little detail, we're dropping this nugget right now. That chair was like $1,000 chair. It was a Herman Miller. If you don't know office chairs can get expensive quickly. And it is one of those things that's like kind of a low key, like worthwhile investment, right? It's like really nice underwear and sheets and like a good bed. It's like the stuff that affects your moment to moment, day to day quality of life can make a really big difference. And an office chair can do that for you. Not that this is like a Herman Miller advertisement or whatever, but like if they wanted to give me money, or a chair, like we could start talking. But anyways, so where was I? What was I thinking? So the next point of escalation that the person goes through is he calls the police because his chair has been stolen, right? Which is like, I agree. Like, I find myself agreeing with this. His chair has, in fact, been stolen. It is no longer, like, accessible to him when it should be. It was his, like, personal property. It wasn't, like, a company chair or whatever. It's not a first come, first serve sort of situation with this. So, the police show up, and they talk to the guy who has now committed... Let's do this twice, and then I can get a free spell. The guy who has committed grand theft chair. It's worth over $1,000. Isn't that where grand theft starts? Is it's $1,000? He has committed grand theft chair. And the police ask him, like, okay, did you do it? Did you take his chair? And the guy's like, yeah, I mean, I took his chair. He admits to it and everything. I won't think he probably admitted to it so easily because he sort of assumed that the situation would sort of maybe resolve itself from there. Maybe it wouldn't be a big deal from there. But the guy admits that he stole the chair. And then the police ask, would you like to press charges? And the dude who had his chair stolen said, yeah, I would actually like to press charges. And this is the boss when the police asked. And take this with a grain of salt, of course. Like online stories are sometimes a little bit too well written, if you know what I mean. A little suspicious sometimes how frequently the stories on the Too Hot Takes subreddit are well written and stuff like that. So grain of salt. But 6 mana would let me spin every turn if I had 2 more intelligence. Constitution would be nice too, though. Although this is our... Oh, no. Yeah. We still have to fight what's their faces. Let's get some strength. So, where was I at? I'm also probably getting you Constitution. I perhaps value Constitution a little bit too highly, but it is what it is. So, he admits that he stole a chair, and when the police asked this guy, the one whose chair was stolen, if he would like to press charges, the boss looks at him and says, "You're fired if you try to press charges," which I'm pretty... That sounds illegal to me. Like a crime you can't like fire someone for pursuing justice on a crime that's been committed, right? That doesn't sound that doesn't sound legal at first blush. I can understand if you think if you maybe feel that that's a slight overreaction of events, but I mean that's kind of how it seems to me. Like a crime has been committed, and now you're like you're not allowed to pursue justice, or else I'll fire you. The dude says, yeah. The victim in this crime says, yeah, I do. I would like to press charges, please. And they do press charges. And supposedly, the dude's career is like fucked now. Because it's with the criminal record associated with him now, it's just the sort of career where that's like never going to fly. So supposedly now this man's entire career is ruined because he stole a petty individual's chair. And this is where things get a little bit interesting for me is, to what extent, I suppose, would I define this person who brought the chair into the office as petty? Because here's the thing, right? He made a good faith attempt to resolve the situation. And I think this is we only have one perspective on the story. So this is like the number one area where everything might be totally fucked up. Because we have to, operate on some level of faith that the story is being told accurately. If this person who had the chair is like a really bad communicator, there are lots of worlds where he failed, potentially to accurately communicate the fact that the chair was his personal property, and there was maybe some slight like medical considerations involved in him having the chair and so on and so forth. If he did a poor job of communicating that, then he's the asshole, right? If he didn't do a good job of communicating all of that, he would definitely be the asshole in this situation. And I think a lot of people would always label him as the asshole in this situation because the other guy had his entire career ruined over a chair, right? I disagree with that perspective, and this is why. He did not ruin his career over a chair. The guy who stole the chair ruined his own career over a chair. Because let's assume that the guy who had his chair stolen operated in good faith and made a good faith effort to communicate with both the thief and with his boss. If that is true, what recourse was really left for that guy, right? And what an asshole move it is to steal your coworker's chair from them, and then when they try to talk with you and work it out, you basically just tell them to go fuck themselves. And it's behavior of someone who is just not operating in society in good faith, right? And the reason why those people are as prolific in society as they are is because they just keep getting away with it. This dude has just been doing random asshole stuff to people his entire life, and that's why he feels so comfortable telling the dude who brought the chair in to just go get fucked when he asks for it back, right? I think not only is the man who pressed charges over grand theft chair not an asshole, he might even be a hero. It's maybe hero is a strong word for it, but you take my meaning. We don't need more people like that in society who aren't operating in good faith, and the more they're punished, the more I can think / hope that maybe the world will start healing. So yeah, maybe hero is going too far. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. That's that's partially for you to decide. You let me know where you fall on that scale. I think a lot of people are just going to see that guy as a total spazwad. And I wonder exactly how many of the people that see him as a total spazwad are the sorts of people who would have stolen the chair themselves. And they're just upset because now in this hypothetical scenario, they would have gone to jail for stealing the chair. And they're like, that's not, I can imagine myself in this situation and I don't like it type energy, perhaps. Or perhaps what I have done there is cleverly constructed a straw man out of anyone who disagrees with me in bad faith, so that I look even more correct, perhaps in a situation where I should not feel correct. But you know what? Me and my girlfriend we're totally aligned on that one. Like, the dude's not the asshole. He went through the proper channels. My goodness, Meteor Storm and Mega Blast. I mean, aren't there too many big amazing spells? But with charge up, can I just like make it happen? Oh, it sucks that his charisma got damaged by 1. You know what I really need on this cat is like a 1-cost repeat. Oh, dude, waste time. Waste time would go so hard on this cat. Maybe I should just... Switch is probably good movement. Oh, it's so tempting to reroll. I mean, you're not gonna get weight if you reroll, but what if you got Chaos Teleport? Okay, well, you win some, you lose some. The man went through the proper channels, is what I'm trying to say. And if you go through the proper channels and everyone along the way, everyone along that path that is like the proper channel, the proper way to do it is unhelpful. But what other recourse do you have? It's literally I need to decide if I'm okay with just being worked over all my life, or if I'm going to do what I am legally allowed to do. I think that's you know, that's where a lot of people are going to probably think it's gone like too far. Is like, sure, perhaps from just a purely legal perspective, this guy was in the right. I think, you know, if you feel that he was in the wrong for pursuing those charges, I'm not fronting you for it. I'll be able to swap again next turn, right? Holy fuck, barely. I'm not fronting you for it. If you think that's a gross overreaction, I can definitely understand where you're coming from on that one. But I'm kind of all for it. But, you know, there's always the possibility that it's basically just like a fake revenge story that someone made up in their head, because it does kind of sound like one. It's like, and then he said, if I pressed charges, he'd fire me. And I fucking pressed charges. You know, it does give a little bit of that like daydreaming revenge story kind of thing. But you know, I find that pretty often with those stories that'll show up on those Too Hot Takes type videos. And it's like, life is just more fun sometimes if you just go ahead and operate off of some assumptions. It's just more fun to go ahead and at least pretend that maybe this might have actually happened. Let's see, we want to Mega Blast for free and then get my intelligence back. And then we'll move over here, Magic Dart. Oh, I usually enjoy killing chubs first, but it really it wasn't working out for me. You know, logistically. Let's see here. My fighter has gone off on a solo mission to make it happen, though. All right, end the turn. So yeah, that is the story of the guy with the office chair. Very, very controversial, groundbreaking story. Let's see here. Oh, we can bomb you too. Anyone need healing? Sure, we'll heal the mage. Boom, there we go. But yeah, at some point, don't you just, doesn't something just need to give? I guess there's so many more, there are variables to consider, okay? There are variables to consider. I think one of the biggest variables is, of course, how good of a communicator the guy who brought the chair in was, because maybe literally all he said to the boss, oh, that sucks. Maybe literally all he said to the boss was so-and-so stole my chair, and he didn't really explain that it was his own like custom Herman Miller that he brought into the office and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, if you didn't do a good job of deeply explaining the situation, you're a pretty giant asshole. But I feel like he did his best based on the information we have been given. He did his best. You're going to spit on the corpse. Can I? Oh, large circle around you. F, man. I'm just gonna pass the turn, I think. I don't really want my fighter to just like blow up. Okay, that's a little better. I guess I could revive him. Yeah, we'll probably do that. Just poke you in the ass real quick. Make you be born again. And the same extends, you know, if he was communicating poorly with his coworker as well. But he's a hero in my eyes. Someone has to do something. Isn't everyone kind of tired of dealing with people who are acting in bad faith? Makes me think of another lady. I guess this probably doesn't matter too much except for breeding, but we don't have enough like stimulation. I feel like I've never seen this ability. How have I never seen that ability? Reminds me of another lady. So my girlfriend has been really enjoying lately these pretzel things we can get at our local grocery store. It's like a little shop operating out of the grocery store that sells them to you as you're on the way out of the building. And this grown-ass adult woman, she had to, I hope she was in at least her mid-30s, because if she wasn't in her 30s, that's really rough. It's already gone downhill, and there's no uphill from here. It's just all down, right? She'd be looking rough if she wasn't in her mid-30s, is what I'm trying to say. And she was giving the worker there a hard time because she was going to have to wait 5-10 minutes for him to make fresh pretzels for her. And it's not only are you're regardless of anything else, you're kind of already an asshole. It's just pretzels. Can we calm down a little bit? But it goes even further from there, because the dude was working a solo shift on a Saturday or a Sunday. They left him all alone there to do this by himself. It's how you can kind of you can kind of see it like a kid behaving that way, right? I think that's not necessarily too surprising. Kids are still kids, and they're learning the world and how to navigate it and what's polite and what's impolite, and particularly learning about the fact that you are not the only human being in the world. And as such, sometimes you need to wait for things. And then at that point, it's obviously sort of on the parents to some extent to teach their children how to move and behave in the world and stuff like that. But a full-grown ass adult behaving this way is just such a deep embarrassment. How do you? What else is crazy is she probably sleeps fine at night. She probably sleeps fine at night. Just giving this dude, this solo worker, attitude about her pretzels, even though she's a grown adult. But I guess that's what happens when the kids see you got lots of cool junk in there. I'm Baby Jack. That's what people call me. My Nana says it's because of how talented I am. I'm a superhero. She also says, boy, you do nice things, so I got a gift for you. He gifted me furniture. And furniture around these parts filled with Jesus juice, but we'll talk about that later. And then up here we can fill our house with all kinds of good stuff. I guess we'll just make the upstairs nicer or something. But I guess that's just sort of what happens when the let's put the stimulation up here. That's where we're going to want it, and the comfort a little bit too. Not that it really matters too much at this point. That's just sort of what happens, I guess, when kids are like throwing a tantrum and the parent never like properly corrects them. They then grow up into this like horrible, self-centered, irritating woman. She was giving us the side eye too, because we were side eyeing her. You know that move in public when it's like, we're looking at you and talking about you, and we know you're in your own head thinking about how we should mind our own fucking business. And it's like, if you want us to mind your own fucking business, then I guess maybe you shouldn't act like a spoiled brat in a public place. That's sort of that one's on you, I think. Let's put this down here. A lot of stuff that's subtracting appeal, but then again, it probably doesn't really matter that much at this stage. What does Tink have to say to us? Your house is filthy and your cats are all donked up, but I'm here for you. He's got lots of gossip for me. Yeah, comfort. Yeah, keep them making babies. All right, thanks, Tink. All right, well, that's about it.